Welcome back to TechKidFX for another price prediction update, and in this video I'll be giving you a price prediction update on Vechain, whose current price stands at the $0.02253 mark, and here on TradingView the market is down by 0.31%. And in this video I want to give you the key scenarios that I expect to play out basing my analysis on the Elliot waves and the Fibonacci's, and also the key areas of support and resistances, and also draw out any key chart pattern that you have information on this chart. And I'll kickstart the video by giving a brief of what has been happening on this chart. Vechain from the all-time high has been seeing lower prices in this massive ABC corrective movement, which has now taken us back to around the $0.02 mark. And starting my analysis here on the daily chart, you can see after making a low down there, we saw a very nice bounce to the upper side, managed to break above key areas of resistances, but at the key area of resistance at around the $0.03362 mark, we got rejected, and we are seeing a massive pullback to the lower side. And jumping to the 4-hour chart for further analysis. Here on the 4-hour chart, after making our low down there, we saw a very nice bounce to the upper side in a movement that I was terming as an Elliot wave structure, having that as the first wave, a second wave, a third wave. Then I expected a retracement to the lower side in the formation of a wave 4, then a wave 5 to complete a higher Elliot wave count 1, but that movement got invalidated the moment our wave 4 over here retraced into the high of that first wave. And having done so, I had to remove the Elliot wave structure from my charts and view this movement to the upside as something else. And the only way we can view that movement to the upper side as is just an ABC corrective movement that was correcting that impulsive movement that gave us a low at around the $0.02 mark. And after finishing the formation of an ABC corrective movement, whatever we expect next is the formation of a 5-wave structure, and I believe that is what you are seeing over here, having this as the wave 1, then a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and then completed the formation of that high Elliot wave count 1 through the formation of a wave 5, giving us a low at around the $0.021 mark. And having seen the formation of a higher Elliot wave count 1, whatever we expect next is the formation of a higher Elliot wave count 2. And because a higher Elliot wave count 2 is a retracement of the first wave, we can use the Fibonacci's, connecting them from the high of that first wave to the low of that first wave, and that gives me a minimum retracement area to the upper side in the formation of that wave 2 between the fib level 0.618 and the fib level 0.382, and I can mark that target area here on the charts like that. And removing the Fibonacci's, you can see that my target area lies between the $0.029 mark and the $0.026 mark, and there is a possibility that Vechain can give us a bit of a pump to the upper side to get us into this target area that I have drawn out here on this chart in the formation of a wave 2. And because a wave 2 is a corrective wave, I will also expect to see an ABC corrective movement play out, maybe even on the 1-hour chart, to get us into that target area that I have drawn out here on this chart. And once we see the formation of a wave 2, then we can continue pushing lower in the formation of a third wave, and that would mean maybe the low for Vechain is not yet in, and we are yet to see a new low here on the Vechain chart. So let's be patient and see how that plays out on the long-term scenarios, basing it on the Elliot waves. We can also have invalidation points here on this chart, because it's possible that we can be able to invalidate this movement to the lower side to give us a new low in case Vechain continues pushing high in the formation of that wave 2, managed to break above the key area of resistance at around the $0.029 mark, and also managed to break above the fib level 0.78 fib level, which lies at the fib level at the $0.03122 mark. So in case that happens and we continue pushing higher, then that will be invalidating my Elliot wave structure to the lower side. Also, viewing this chart from a wider view, we have the formation of a chart pattern which is right here, having this, which is a head and shoulders pattern, having that as the left shoulder of that head and shoulders pattern. Then we have seen the head, then we have seen the neckline, then we have seen the formation of a right shoulder, and after the formation of that right shoulder, we have not yet seen a breakout out of that head and shoulders pattern, and we have been seeing much of a consolidation right here. And this head and shoulders pattern, this is a pattern that normally breaks to the lower side, having the target area of that breakout as the height between the head and the neckline. So using a trend line, we can get that height and then place it down here to give us a minimum target area to the lower side, back to around the $0.01126 mark. So there is a possibility once we see a breakout out of this consolidation that we are in at the moment, we might see a breakout out of this head and shoulders pattern, taking us back to around the $0.011 mark. And in case that happens, then I believe maybe the low will be in for Vechain, and then we can start sketching out a movement to the upper side in the maybe taking us back to an all-time high. Also getting into the short-term scenarios that can play out from this consolidation that we have been trading within after the formation of the right shoulder. You can see that we have been trading within this channel, and we managed to break out of the channel to the lower side. And after we managed to break out of the channel, we saw much of a retest in this movement over here of the lower side of the channel. And after that retest, we have continued pushing lower, and down here you can see we have seen support at around the $0.021 mark. That is a support zone that we have formed down here, and in that movement we have also formed another chart pattern right there. And if I draw it out, that is a double bottom, having this impulsive movement giving us the first bottom. Then we saw a very nice bounce to the upper side, making the neckline. Then we saw a very nice movement to the lower side, forming another bottom. Then we are seeing a bit of a bounce to the upper side, and there is a possibility that Vechain can be able to break out of this pattern that we have formed right here, which is a double bottom. And this is a pattern that normally breaks to the upper side, having the target area of that breakout as the height between the neckline and the baseline down here. So using a trend line, I can get that height and place it up here above the neckline to give me a minimum target area to the upper side, back to around the $0.024 mark. And in case that happens, we'll be managing to break above the key area of resistance at around the $0.02435 mark. And once that happens, I would expect to see a retest of that key area of resistance before we continue pushing higher, and that could be the movement that will be forming that second wave to the upper side. And I have also shown you when we can invalidate that movement to the lower side in the formation of a third wave. So in case we continue pushing higher, manage to break out of the target area that I have drawn out in the formation of a wave 2, then we can start sketching out something different. Also taking a look at the indicators to see what movements will be supported. Here on the 4 RSI, we are trading at around the 52 mark, and that means we have massive room for us to support any movement to the upper side in the formation that is breaking out of those chart patterns that I have drawn out. And also having in mind that we have support at around the $0.021 mark. So let's be patient and see how that plays out. Also taking a look at the MACD. Here on the MACD, we have printed a bullish cross, and that would mean higher prices could be coming our way. So let's be patient and see how that plays out, and I'll keep you updated.